Time for our regular features, and let's start with our trending topics this morning. Right, let's pull them up, and here they are. First up is hashtag Alcaraz. Alcaraz, or as the native speakers seem to say, Alcara. So King Carlos, he of course won his maiden Wimbledon men's title yesterday against Novak Djokovic, and what an exciting final it was, I must say. ANC SG, Fikile Mbalula, and of course for many reasons, not the least of which is also our question of the day today. The Secretary General of the ANC was of course giving feedback to the media on what was discussed last week at the NEC meeting. And among the things that he gave feedback on was that the ANC had in fact achieved 70% of the 120 objectives that were laid out in the manifesto. And he said they had achieved 70%, which is our question of the day, incidentally, as well. So we're asking you of your views on that, but we'll come to that. There's that question. Following the ANC's election manifesto review, the party says they've delivered on 70% of the 120 election promises that were contained in the 2019 election manifesto. Do you think the ANC has lived up to their promises? At Morning Live SABC, you can also send us a voice note on 078-459-1897. Looking forward to that. Right, let's move to the next trending topic, and that is hashtag Azuma. And this, of course, following what happened in the Constitutional Court last week regarding the former president's parole and, of course, correctional services releasing statements. All of this happened last week, and we'll get into a little more detail on these matters in a short while with our analyst. But of course, this is one of the reasons why the former president is trending. The other reason, of course, is because it has since emerged that he was out of the country at the time when this particular judgment was delivered. And then many questions were asked by many on the Twitter streets, including Helen Ziller, asking about whether in fact Zuma was supposed to have handed in his passport, for example. All of those questions, we'll talk to that in our next interview. And then, of course, the final one is Prof. Pakeng. This is, of course, an interesting one, because this stems from Professor Jonathan Jansen, who was speaking at an event, and he was critical of Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng's tenure, her leadership, as it were, when she was at UCT. And she then, of course, took to Twitter to respond, saying that basically she will not take that seriously because she doesn't think much of him. To be clear about her response, to read it to you, she said, "I forgive this one even before he opens his loud mouth, because I'm well aware that he's just parroting what he overhears when making tea for his masters. I have no time for puppets." That was, of course, the clapback from Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng. So this is why she's trending, and of course many other people weighing in on that, and so it goes on the Twitter streets. Those are your trending topics for this morning.